Hello and welcome to another episode of Programming Course. And I'm Siavash. I'm here with you. And for the latest episode, we have done this so far. We have a class for a student which has three properties called name, age, and grade. And it has a constructor which could initiate um, the default values of these properties, and it has also two other methods for printing these properties and reading those properties from input. Today we are going to make another class for a teacher. So as we have learned from before, we just have to specify a class called teacher and just name the properties. Alright, what a teacher has. The teacher might have a name which is from the type of a string or str or whatever, and we can give the teacher also an age. It would be integer, and that's basically it. What other thing a teacher might have? A teacher could have a salary, maybe. It could be from the type of float. For initiating these values, we learned we could just use init function for constructing the value, and the first parameter in every method of class must be self. So the next parameter, I am going to name it name, age again, and salary, which I'm going to assume that they are 0 by default. So the name of the teacher is going to be the name from argument, and the age also could be the age, and the salary could be the salary, and it could also have these two methods for printing and reading the properties. So self.name, self.age, and self.salary, which is enter salary. And for printing, we just print salary. Alright, that really seems a lot to the student class, and as you can see that we have written something similar more than once. If you have ever write something more than once, you kind of might suspect that you are mistaken somewhere. So we have this print method as we had here, and two lines are the exact similar one for printing name and age, and this is really not good for an OOP program or object-oriented program. So I'm not going to create any object from the teacher because it's the same as we did last session. Instead, in this session, we are going to learn a bit more about inheritance, or having children for some classes. So, what is inheritance? It's going to happen a lot when two classes has the same properties, identical properties, which it can be used again and again. For example, if you want to make a class for employee, it also might have name and age, which is again duplicated. and we know that if we write anything more than once, it's probably wrong. So I can make a class called person and just give these two properties, age and name, to it, and make this init function for that, for the constructor of this class, so it can have the name and age without salary, and the print and out the read and print for this class, which prints the name, age, and just that. So I have a person class here, which is just a normal class, and it has the common part of these two classes. So these two classes have name and age, and the person has just these two elements. So we can kind of say that teacher and a student are somehow a person. So we just want to copy whatever it is in person and bring it to the teacher class and the student class. This is what we call inheritance. So we're going to make these two classes a child for the person, and the way is just to say this teacher is somehow a person. So that's it. It's going to have these default parameters like the name and age by default, because it's a copy of person which has something extra like salary or nothing, just salary. And for the init function, if you want to assign the name and age, you can, you don't have this name property here. So one of the things that you could do is just say person dot init, and you call this person, and it wants the self, which we're gonna pass, and name and age. It's just going to assign those things to the person part, and assign the salary to the property that it is belong to teacher, and this is specifically for teacher, and it is not a common property. So instead of specifying the exact name of the parent of this class, you could just call a function called super, and it kind of works. So a super is actually a representative of the father class. So the teacher is a child of person in this case. We call that the teacher is inheriting the person. So the person in this case is a superclass. A superclass is just a regular class, which we are not using it directly. We just extend it to other classes to get the common properties a bit more organized. So that's the definition of the superclass and inheritance, if you had anywhere else. And as for the printing, if you want to print those person parts, you just can call super again and call the print method on that. So the superclass is going to call the print part, which just printing name and age, and again after calling this, it's going to print the salary, just like that. And for the read, as you can guess, we call the read from the superclass. So that was what it was. We don't need this self parameter again. because after using the super, it's know what is the superclass, and it automatically passes the self parameter to it. So the first parameter is going to be the parameter that we want, so we don't have to pass the self if we use the super method. But if you specified person, then you have to pass the self. That's the difference between using super and specifying the name. In this case, it doesn't matter, it only has one superclass, but in case of that, you add some hierarchy of the classes, which we might do it in future episodes. I don't make any promises for that, but if we do, I will show it to you what is the difference between specifying the name and using the super method. So let's do the same for a student. I'm removing that name and age, and all I have to do is just to specify that the student is inheriting person, which copy pastes all the properties of the person class to the student class. So for init thingy, I'm going to call the init from superclass and pass the name and age that has passed to me. And for the printing part, I'm going to call the print function from superclass, and for the read also I'm going to call the super read thingy. So as I run this, there should be no difference. So I created a student, I called it S1, I called the print function which prints it, and I called the read function is going to read these properties. As you can see in the student class and read method, I don't have any input for the name, but it asks me for the name. So it kind of calls the read method from superclass, which is a person, which is internal name thingy here. So that's the way to organize your code and shorten the common properties and avoid writing similar lines again and again. Anywhere that you had this situation that you have written some lines over and over again and they are identical, there might be a chance that there could be a better way, and your solution is not kind of the best solution available. So that's one situation. Let's enter the name like Joe, of the age of 18 and the grade of 19, and yeah, Joe 18 19. It works like a charm. It works completely normal as before. All I have did is just I made a superclass called person, and I just moved these properties to the person class, so I don't have to rewrite these properties over and over again for the teacher class and the student class and employee class and whatever class that I have defined so far or I will define in later. That's it. That was a short episode, and I just wanted to introduce the superclasses and inheritance. So I hope you enjoyed it. That was a bit fast forward, I believe, and don't forget to practice if you want to actually write themselves without any difficulty. So I wish you the best, kinda, and I hope you enjoyed it. I said that again, you know. I don't know how to end this. Just bye.